On today's show, we're going to look at a couple of early 90s baseball cards from my favorite player as a kid. But first, you guys know the drill. Let's get a word from our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Walkable Stays, the only hotel booking service dedicated to sports card collectors who absolutely refuse, to park in a garage 3 blocks away. Walkable Stays guarantees your room is close enough that you can drop off your hits without breaking a sweat, avoid carrying 40 pounds of top loaders across town, and make it back to the show before that guy with the wagon buys all the dollar box heat. Walkable Stays, because the only marathon you're running is through the bargain bins. The National Federation of Professional Sports Card Condition Assessment, Preservation, Verification, and Display Solutions Alliance, the grading company that spent more time naming itself than designing its slabs. Their grading process is thorough, scientific, and takes so long you'll forget you even submitted the card. But when it comes back, sealed in a case roughly the size of a small textbook, you'll know it was graded by a company that takes itself very seriously. NFPS CC AP VDSA, because nothing says trust like an acronym that looks like a Wi-Fi password. Now back to the show. All right, guys, so we've got 2 early 90s cards of my favorite player growing up, which this is still strange to me to this day because growing up, I was a huge Chicago Cubs fan, always have been. The reason why is because back then, the only baseball that I could really watch on TV was the Cubs, and it was because it was on WGN. And as much as I loved Ryan Sandberg, Andre Dawson, Rick Sutcliffe, Lee Smith, all those guys from like those late 80s Cubs, my favorite player actually played for the hated rival Cardinals, and that player was Ozzie Smith. So here is Ozzie Smith's 1992 Team Pinnacle card. See if we can get that in there. I don't recall the exact pack odds on these. From what I remember, they were pretty tough to pull though. And they're double-sided as far as like there's a player on the front and the back. Ozzie's on the front. On the back is a blast from the past, Pat Listash. If you guys were around back then, this guy was supposed to be a big deal. He was okay for a little while, but faded quickly. Just he was kind of that era's, one of the rookie hype guys, and didn't really pan out over the long run. The second card I'm going to show you is from 1993 Select, and it is the Select Stars. Has that cool Dufex technology that was made popular back then. Now these, I believe, were like, you'd get like maybe 2 per box, and I think they were only in retail, if I remember correctly. I think there was a different insert for hobby. But yeah, I think these were roughly about 2 per box. Not that back then I was even buying like a full box, so I actually don't remember ever actually pulling one of these. I actually bought both of these cards the last time I was at a Dallas card show, and just, going through some value boxes and came across these, and the nostalgia was just, it was hitting. It was hitting pretty hard that day, so I had to pick up these Aussies. Honestly, the Select Stars, like, I may have to put that set together. I like the way those look. Those are great looking cards. So that's the 2 cards that we're going to show. Now let's get back to a word from the sponsors, because you guys know we have to pay the bills around here. So, one of today's sponsors is Flip Force Card Show Chronicles, the only video game that captures the true essence of the hobby. Walking in circles, negotiating with someone who insists their card is low pop, and sprinting across a convention center because you heard someone pull the one of one. Flip Force lets you buy, sell, trade, grade, break, and regret, all from the comfort of your couch. Flip Force, because if you're going to lose money on cardboard, you might as well do it virtually too. And our last sponsor of the day, Masterclass Advanced YouTube Sports Card Commenting Techniques, the world's first and only educational program dedicated to help you achieve the highest honor in the hobby, getting your name read out loud by a breaker who's opening cards way too fast. In this groundbreaking course, our instructors, certified experts in digital clout, will teach you the essential skills every elite commenter needs, including strategic let's go deployment, so you never waste your hype on a base card, timing your fire emoji burst to maximize on-screen visibility, the art of the overly specific compliment, like, bro, your camera angle is crisp today, advanced breaker psychology, helping you understand exactly when they're most likely to read usernames. You'll also learn how to craft high-impact comments such as calling a banger here, mojo incoming, I pulled that same card last week, but mine was off center. And for our premium tier, you'll unlock name highlight optimization, a proprietary technique that increases your chances of hearing your username shouted mid-rip by up to 300%. By the end of this masterclass, you won't just be another viewer in the chat. You'll be a presence, a force, a recognized name in the scrolling waterfall of hobby chaos. Masterclass Advanced YouTube Sports Card Commenting Techniques. Because in the hobby, fame isn't about what you pull, it's about who says your name while pulling it. Guys, I really think that I know we've been trying to get some better sponsors of the show. I hope that these were a little bit better than some of the ones we've had in the past as far as credibility goes. And I think there's a few of these that we'll probably be working with again in the future. Having said that, we'll be back soon. Thanks for joining. We'll catch you on the next one.